The third thing is loyalty. You know, when we develop networking partners, we want to know that there is an investment to be made in that. And there are many schools of thought. People think that if they go and they meet, 100 people one night at one event and 100 people at another event and 100 people the next week at another event, that the more people that they meet, the more effective that they will be. It's come to my understanding from my personal experience that the best networking partners the best effect that you could have is to have just a handful, maybe only even 5, networking partners, people that you have developed a relationship with, that you have that sense of trust with, and that you can get to know. They trust you, they know how you do business, you share clients, they know how you've treated their clients, you know how they have treated your clients, and you can refer them. Now, in the beginning, and most of you, I've heard a lot of you here say tonight that you are just beginning your businesses. So you do need to go to these events. You need to keep going to as many events as you possibly can. Go to different chamber events. Mixers are a wonderful venue for you to meet people. But meet those people, get to know them, maybe have a cup of coffee, a glass of lemonade, whatever it might be, and sit down and talk to them until you find those key people who you click with. The people that you relate to the most, and then get to know them better. As long as you are within the related industries. For instance, myself, I work at a bank. So related industries for me would be CPAs, and I know there's a couple of CPAs in here. Stu is one. CPA, let's see, what else would be really good? Financial investors would be a good place for me to go. People who work with any people who work with small businesses. Lawyers would be a good place. Like, is it Marianne or Marianne? Marianne. If you, any type of real estate law, because we are a commercial bank, we work specifically with businesses. So I find like minds and like businesses to work with, and then to develop my group. And I have been doing this now just for the bank for almost 4.5 years. And I can tell you that I have finally found my key 5 people. So it takes a while to do this, but it's definitely worth the investment in the long run. All right, so then the 4th pillar on your tent is a willingness to go the extra mile. Okay? Do a little bit more than what's expected of you. Everybody wants, let's do this, Nordstrom. Now, maybe some of you don't shop at Nordstrom because it might not be your style or it might not be in your budget, but I think we all know why people shop at Nordstrom. Because when you shop at Nordstrom, you walk in the door, people pay attention to you, they assist you, they will bring clothes to you if you're in the dressing room, you can bring things back. It's all about service, isn't it? That's what sets them apart. They go the extra mile. We need to be that way in our businesses. We need to set ourselves apart. And we need to do that with our networking partners then also. Go the extra mile. And then in the detailed manner, do you pick up the phone and make the phone call? If I tell, if I tell Patty that I know somebody that would be interested in what she does, I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to say, listen, I just met Patty. She's really great. I think you need to talk to her, and I will make the connection for her. So it's me putting forth effort, even though I might not get any benefit immediately from that, but in the long run you will. I heard somebody mention earlier something about karma, and it's true, whatever you call it, what goes around comes around in life. So we need to put in that extra effort. And the 5th thing is to follow up and follow through. And we heard that from 4 or 5 different people when we talked about what networking was. You need to follow up with your networking partner and let them know. If Patrick calls me and gives me a referral, once I get in contact with that person, I'm going to email Patrick or give Patrick a call and tell him thank you. I'm going to let him know we talked. We're going to go out for coffee next Wednesday. And when we get done with that, I'll let you know what happens. because it's really important that you keep each other in the loop. And also, it's another way to keep in contact with somebody. And then, of course, you need to follow up with the contact that you have made. Once you sit down, you have that coffee. Writing handwritten notes is rather antiquated, I know, for some people. But how good do you feel when you get a note from somebody? Isn't there just that little excitement inside? Oh, I got a letter. I got a letter in the mail. I got something in the mail. People don't forget that. They really don't forget that. You know, we are about to do holiday cards at work, and we handwrite every one of our holiday cards. It's very time consuming, but I do believe that people remember that. And those are the kind of people that you want to do business with. You want people that will remember and not take for granted the small little things that you do. All right? So now we are going to come back to confidence in just a few minutes, but I want to talk a little bit about some of the groups that you get involved with. You need to find out who your target market is, and it's very hard in a group that's as diversified as this to be able for me to hone in on that. So you have to put a little bit of time in thinking about where the kind of people are that you're going to need to talk to. Ted, a good place for Ted to be, somebody in, he would be the same kind of places that I would be. There are groups in the East Bay that have commercial businesses, commercial realtors. There's a women's organization for commercial realtors. There's an organization for commercial brokers down on the 680 corridor. So look for places where your kind of people are going to be, the kind of people that are going to be involved in the business that you are doing. Now, some of you have businesses, you can go anywhere. It's Ari, right? You know, your wonderful website, I can't wait to go on it. So, because I love to hike, and if I don't go on your website, then I have to go to each one of the park's websites, and I have to look them up individually, and sometimes it's difficult to maneuver through them, so I'm really looking forward to doing that. But your target market is everywhere. So you can do that. But some of you are a little bit more narrowly focused, and so you need to keep that in mind when you're going out and about. Two little simple things. Go early and stay late. Because if you think about it, when you come to this event, now it's really nice what Patrick does at his events, to have networking in the middle of this evening. That worked wonderfully. But most of the events that you go to, if you have a speaker particularly, you maybe get to speak a little bit beforehand or at the tail end. But if you get there late and then you're watching your clock and you got to go there, excuse me, but weren't you going there to network? How are you going to network if you don't allow time? That's the most important time that you can spend, is the time before and the time afterwards. Returning phone calls. I think everybody knows this, but do we do it? Return phone calls within 24 hours. Personally, I like to return them within a day. Unless I'm out of the office and I don't get the message until the next day, I will always return a phone call the same day that they make that call. Because if I don't, and they're in a hurry, they're probably on the phone to somebody else, aren't they? So at least I know that's how I am, a little impatient. If I want the answer to something and I can't get it right away, I'll pick up the phone and call somebody else. So, second thing, be organized. Now, I know that sounds really easy to do, but I know how difficult it is for people to do. And I want to tell you two different things to be organized on. Number one, your time. Budget your time. Your time is the most valuable asset that you have right now, especially when you're starting your business. Be very, very careful and selective about where you are spending your time. And that's why I mentioned earlier about going to numerous events in the beginning when you're starting your business, but once you find out that this particular place isn't the best place for you to be, even though you met wonderful people like Bill and like Tiffany and Jen and Jenny, and you met all these great people and you want to hang out with them, if this isn't a good place for you to be to grow your business, then go somewhere else. Your time is the most important thing.